So, I'm going to be going through how to navigate a networking event, especially as a student. And I want to be very clear here. For the longest time, I could not do networking events. I am an introvert at heart. I've got a bit of social anxiety as well. I'm a bit of an awkward person, right? I totally understand. Anyone of my friends who's watching this will know that I'm a pretty awkward person in social settings. So, networking as a student for me, when I was starting off, trying to build my connections to get my first internship, trying to just get good at talking to people in general, was very challenging. And I really struggled in the beginning to just understand what the fuck to do when I walked in there. Because I would walk in there, I would see a lot of people talking to other people, and I just sort of stood awkwardly in the corners a lot. I didn't really do a whole lot. I just kind of took my free drink, had a drink for a bit, and then one person would just talk to me because they were nice. And that was it. I used to walk out not having got much done. So I'm going to walk you guys through a way to navigate these events, and you can use this. I'm going to put this in the description so you can download it, keep it on you. It's not very in depth, to be honest, so I'm not sure how useful you'll find it, but it's just some general tips you can use to structure the way that you actually navigate a networking event. And the reason I've kept it so general and so like non-detailed is because everyone's different. So you might find this as too rigid for you. You might just walk in there and wing it. Some people want more details. Some just want like a general understanding. So this can apply to everyone across all spectrums. And I'm going to give it to you now. I'm going to explain to you exactly what I'm doing just to make this a bit better. By making this better, what I mean is making networking easier. So, first thing, it's a pretty cool tip, which is get a friend or a work colleague or someone you know to come with you. It just makes it a lot easier if it's your first time networking to walk in there with someone you know. You can build that familiarity with them. You can actually warm up as well socially. If you guys get what I mean, introverts watching this, you can warm up socially by like just talking to this person you already know and just generate a good like momentum at speaking. So bring a friend along if you can. It will make it a lot easier. Don't worry if you can't, though. It's going to be a little bit harder for you, but I will walk you through some steps to make it easier. Next thing you want to do is you've walked into the networking event. Now, 95% of the time at these networking events, like networking nights or like job fairs, they normally have free drinks. So we all love drinking. Go and grab your free drink. That's the most basic thing you can do to start off with. Get a drink in your hand, even if you don't drink alcohol. Just get something non-alcoholic. That's totally fine. Just put a drink in your hand and literally take a few sips. That's the first thing you can do, and it's really simple because all you have to do is wait in line, get a drink, and then walk out and just have that drink for a little bit. Okay, now we're going to go into the actual work part of this. So what we're going to do is at most of these job fairs or networking events, there are people or there are stalls that will interest you, right? No matter because you're a human being, you will find things interesting. So, for example, at my job fairs when I was a student, I used to go to a lot of the renewable energy job fairs. That's what my major is in, renewable energy engineering, and I used to actually just look around and spend like 5 to 10 minutes just walking around with a drink in my hand. Wouldn't talk to anyone because again, introvert, didn't want to talk to anyone, but I did what I could to just walk around and read like the banners, right? So they'll normally have like banners and like posters behind every desk of like what they're doing and what sort of work they've been working on, the history of the company or whatever. Just walk around and find the stalls that interest you the most. It's all you have to do. Um, and then once you find one that interests you, you're going to approach that store. Now, I know approaching stores can be a bit like awkward and a bit scary at first because you're talking to. It's not like talking to your friends at a party. You're talking to professionals. So there's obviously a very different manner of speaking that you have to exhibit. But I've got these two intros here that I've personally used, and they worked. So if it worked for me, I'm hoping it'll work for you too. The first one is a bit more forward, but more formal. This is for someone who's maybe a bit more extroverted or has a bit of experience with networking. And the first thing to do is just offer your hand for a handshake to that representative and say, "Hi, I'm whatever your name is. What sort of work do you guys do?" And that's it. Just leave it there. Because what they'll do is they'll say, "Oh, hey, my name is, I don't know, David or something, and I'm working in this field and this is my colleague, the other person running the store, and they do like project management or whatever it is, right? So they'll go ahead and lead the conversation for you in most cases because that's their job. They've been chosen to go to a job fair literally to talk about what they do. That's the whole point. They're trying to get people to join their company or partner with them. The second one is a bit less forward, a bit more casual. If you are, let's say again, you're a bit nervous, you don't really want to off your hand or anything, totally get it. You can just say, hey, I'm new around here. What do you guys specialize in? And leave it at that. And they might just say, well, we do, material science work, or we do, we recycle solar panels. We make like headphones or whatever, like earphones. They'll just talk about what they do, and that's the beauty of it. The whole point of this step is to simply just let them know who you are and get them talking. That's the most important thing. All right. Now, step five is when this person starts talking and they actually give you information. We're going to follow an 80-20 rule. I touched on this in my previous video about like how to build, how to get internships, but I didn't really expand on it. So I'll expand a bit more on it now. 80-20 rule is very simple. They simply do 80% of the talking, and you are going to sit there and ask the questions and provide basic context. And that's it. You can literally do this with no IQ, I promise you. Just basic questions to start off with. Just say, hey, what do you do for work? Or hey, how'd you get in this field? Hey, what did you do on the weekend? Even that works. I've literally started conversations by saying, hey, the weather outside is really nice. I know it sounds basic and like zero effort, but it's literally worked for me. It still works for me today as an adult out of uni now in the workforce. I've used that in some of my work events and it actually works. So I recommend giving that a go. And what you want to do is then transition into some more complex questions later. So what this means is, as they're going to feed you more and more information, the conversation gets deeper and deeper, it gets bigger. They're going to start dropping some hints of what they do. They're going to start talking about projects. They're going to start talking about, what they do on a day-to-day basis. And what you have to do as a listener is literally just listen to them and find the bits of their conversations that you don't understand. It's a really easy way. So all you have to do is say, "Oh, you spoke about coding this particular section in Python when you were building this project. Can you explain that in more detail?" Really great way of keeping the conversation going because not only are you again learning yourself, but it just makes you sound like less of an idiot. You're someone who's there to learn from them. You're someone who's there to like get knowledge. So that's one way of providing more complex questions. If you have a bit more technical knowledge or you understand of what they're doing and you can provide like questions outside of what they're talking about to further the conversation, great. But if you're in the beginning of your career, you don't really know a whole lot, this is a great way of just making the conversation go forward and pushing it forward. That's your whole goal. All right. Next thing is don't be afraid to end a convo. I should probably like change these two to be honest. I think maintaining eye contact should go a bit higher up on the list. So I'll talk about that first. Maintain eye contact. Look at their face. Look at the part between the eyebrows. Literally, just do that. That's a great way of just like initially doing it. Don't keep your eyes there for too long. Obviously, they'll start picking up that you're looking at their eyebrows and think this person's weird. But in the beginning, if you're a bit nervous, you can do that, and then you can scan around. Just look at their face is what I'm trying to say. Don't be that person who keeps looking away and looks up and down and doesn't really look like they want to be there. I get that it's not the easiest thing to do, but I promise you the quality of your conversations will improve a lot if you master this. Okay, the last thing, which should be D, but it's C, whatever, is don't be afraid to end a conversation. So if you find that there is nothing really going on, you've talked to this person, you've tried to get some interest out of them, they can't get much out of you either, it's just not going anywhere, don't be afraid to end it. Now, how do you end a conversation? There's a really cool hack that you can use. I've used it in many events and also parties. And this again comes back to why it's so important to have a drink in your hand. You can literally just say, in these exact words, just say what I'm saying. I'm going to go get another drink, but nice to meet you. But lovely to meet you. I'll repeat that again. So all you have to do is say, "Oh, it was great to meet you. I'm going to get another drink, but I'll come back and talk to you later on the night," and just walk off. And that's literally worked for me. It's people have done it to me as well when I've talked to them at networking events. They've just said, "I'm going to get another drink." Haven't spoken to them again the whole night. It's a polite way of going away because it shows that you're not just going away because you want to. You're going away to do something else, which is literally get a drink. And because everyone loves drinking, no one's going to question it. You can use that to end an awkward conversation if it's not working. Now, in the event of this all working, if let's say you've done all of this work and you've got, you've had a really good conversation and you guys seem to get along, get their contact. right? So get them on LinkedIn or whatever it is you want to use, Facebook or whatever, or even their business card works. Just get their contact and just say, look, I'd love to keep in touch with you. Let's keep a network going on either LinkedIn or I'll give you a call or an email or something. And that's it. That's really it. It's really that simple. This will take a bit of practice, but as you do more and more of these networking events, this really basic structure that took me like maybe 5 minutes to put up, um, I've used this so many times since the age of 20. I'm 23 now, so it's 3 years tested. I've already had over 100 conversations now at networking events, and this has always worked. And I have a very, very strict philosophy with my channel. I will not upload videos until I'm certain that what's in the videos is what I've used in my life to make it better. And in this case, this has worked. So I hope this helps. If you guys have any questions, please leave me a question in the comments. I'm more than happy to help you out. Catch you around. Thanks.